it began accidentally because of a natural ability to spot error and inconsistencies. That keen eye for details turned into a deep passion for ensuring applications are built with precision and met customer expectations. With an open mind and curious mindset, she is now actively exploring generative AI in software testing, looking at how AI can be applied practically and realistically in field. But that's not all. She has also ventured into cybersecurity, combining it with her QA expertise to integrate secure testing practices and enhancing the quality, security, and resilience of modern software systems. Beyond financial services and property management, Olubukola is eager to expand her impact across new industries, leveraging her leadership and technical skills to drive innovation, inspire teams, and champion quality excellence. Let us give it up for our dear, admirable Olubukola Omotayo. She is the Director of Software and Quality Assurance at Home Trumpeter USA. As she takes us on this beautiful course, insightful one, AI for product quality engineers. Olubukola, welcome. You have this. You have the stage now.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Really excited to be here. Looking forward to all the interesting conversations that we will have tonight. So before I start, maybe I can ask, what are people's expectations? What are you expecting to learn today? You can write.
Yes.
All right, please.
Probably you should use the raise the hand feature so that we can just call on you, or you can use the chat box to drop your messages. So while we wait for that, I would just like to chip in that there's this fear going around now because, you know, over the week I made a post, and that stemmed from our last discussion, fireside chat that we had with Demola Adeshino, where it was talking about somebody asked that AI can literally do some of these basic things that software testers are being employed for. And should we be concerned that the next few years probably we would not have physical people testing all these applications? So I believe some people on this call would want to know, what can we do to stay ahead of our game as software like product quality engineers, to ensure that even as AI is fast taking some of these roles, what can we do to stay ahead? We know that there are a lot of things that AI is doing that they are like human beings are doing that AI cannot do. So please shed light on that. So let me read some of these things in the chat box. Somebody already said that how to make my testing faster and more efficient using AI.
Okay.
Yes, so we have Orji. Do we have any other person? All right, I think we do not have. If we have over the course of the meeting, we can just pick it up. Thank you very much.
Excellent. I'll need to confirm if you guys can see my screen. Are we able to see the slides? Hello?
100%. Yes, we can.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for those objectives. So in the little time that we have, I would like to just take us through, and kudos to Testers Quarters for putting this together. We'll just, interact and just engage and talk. And deliberately, I would like to give us a little bit of details, a little bit of foundation, so that we have a glimpse into what this AI is and just break it down. Okay, so I'll just move on. Okay, all right. You guys know me. Faith has done a good job of introducing me. My name is Bukola Omotayo. I'm a test manager. I'm a quality advocate. I'm a passionate customer-centric tester, very passionate. I'm a cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm a mentor, I'm a trainer, and the LinkedIn author of QA Quest Friday. QA Quest is just everything about testing. And of recent, like she said, I've also diversified into security. So QA Quest now is like a test fusion of both cybersecurity and and testing. So we're going to start. What exactly is AI? We all know that AI means artificial intelligence, but ISTQB, which is a body that is International Software Testing Qualification Board, defines AI as the capability of an engineered system. The word engineered system, it is to acquire, to process, and to apply knowledge and skills. So it has to acquire it, it processes it, and then it applies the knowledge and the skills that it acquires. Then, of course, the everyday translation that we know from the dictionary says is a capability of computer systems or algorithms to imitate intelligent human behavior. Okay, so how many types of AI do we have? We have different types. Like I said, I'm deliberately, and I won't take too much before so I can give room for questions. I'm deliberately trying to give us some details into what this AI is so as to break it down so that it's no longer a black box. We're testers, so we should be able to, we're familiar with all these our terms. So we have three types. It's called narrow AI, or also called weak AI. Weak as in somebody is weak. And what does narrow AI do? It does specific tasks, meaning it cannot multitask. If it was designed to do certain things, for example, a chatbot, for example, our Alexa, our Siri, our games. So that's what is called narrow AI. It does specific tasks. Then we also now have what we call the general AI. Now, these general AI are supposed to like mimic human intelligence. But as of few years ago, we are yet to have anything in the area of general AI. We're still dancing around the narrow AI. And then we have what we call the super AI. And the super AI is supposed to surpass human cognitive abilities. So of course, if we have not reached the general AI yet, or Gen AI, then we have not even reached super AI yet. Those are sometimes, I think, in the region of some of the sci-fi movies that we watch. I'm just joking, where they say robots is going to take over the world, and perhaps that is but that's what super AI refers to. It's supposed to surpass human intelligence. So how does AI work? Like I said, I'm intentional about giving us these details. AI works by using data. It uses those data to identify patterns. Then it can build algorithms and models, and it uses it to make predictions and decisions. Meaning is very similar in breaking it down. That is the way a child learns. You have a child, he's born, and as he grows up, he begins to pick, for example, the language of whatever the people that speak around him speak. So, for example, if a child is born in Germany and he has parents that speak Igbo, meaning to a large extent, if they speak to him, he will understand Igbo language. He will, if they speak English, he will understand English. And perhaps maybe if he goes to school on time and he begins to pick, he would also be able to learn German. But all he does and all he can speak and all he can learn is based on what he has been taught. He cannot do anything outside of that. So AI is very similar to that. It gets data, it forms patterns, and then it begins to work out of that. Okay. And I'm sure most of us have also heard, perhaps you've wondered, we hear AI, we hear generative AI. What exactly is the difference? AI, for example, comes in two forms. You can either have general AI that is rule-based, meaning it forms a pattern based on some rules that you've given it. For example, our Amazon, our Google, our Netflix. You see that with time, after you begin to watch specific kind of movies, you just all of a sudden begin to see that the kind of suggestions that Netflix begins to give to you is not coincidence. That is what is happening. So for example, those are rule-based, or maybe you are on Google, there's certain kind of things that you watch, or you're on Amazon, those are rule-based. Also, you can also have what we call a learning-based, meaning the model of that AI learns like a child. And that's super dangerous if I should let us know that it's learning. but we'll get there. So those are examples of chatbots, fraud detection system, like I said, recommendation systems like Netflix and Amazon. Then we now have what we call the generative AI. The generative AI is a type of AI that it's generating. That's where it's gotten, where the generative is from, meaning it's creating new content, such as text, like we have with our ChatGPT. I'm sure almost all of us, if not all of us, are very familiar with that. It does images, like we have with our, even ChatGPT has started doing that. We have with our Midjourney and things like that. Code, audio, video, that is what is referred to as generative AI. It is creating something. It not only analyzes data, but it also generates new data based on the patterns it has learned. All right, then I will move. Don't worry, not so quickly. Quite quickly. Machine learning. So our AI, all those things we see, what drives them behind the scenes, it's called machine learning. All we all know is LLM models or machine learning. That's a machine. And then we have three types. We have what we call supervised learning. Supervised learning is you get to have data and you make sure you label them. So when you label them, it's like when you're teaching a child in kindergarten and you have different colors, and then you say, this is yellow, this is red, this is green, or you say, this is a boy. You bring a picture of a boy and you say, this is a boy, you label it a boy, this is a girl, this is a ball. You label all manner. For example, let me say you have 2,000 items right now, and you, based on whatever model you want to create, it's going to be supervised learning. Meaning if you have 2,000 items that you have labeled, if by the time you are training your model, the data you have available is 2,000 all labeled, by the time you are evaluating, is ready for it to test, and you use another data, if you bring any data outside of this 2,000 that this model is aware of, there is no way he's going to be able to identify it for you. So that's what supervised learning. Then we have unsupervised learning. The data that is available is not labeled. You just perhaps just show the picture of an orange, you show the picture of apples, you show the picture, and then by the time you bring some other fruits, the model is supposed to be able to categorize all the ones that look like oranges, all the ones that look like apples, all the ones that look like banana, which also means that, for example, if you have any item that is shaped or looks very similar to this, for example, if you have something else that is not a banana shaped in the form of a banana, if you bring it close, it's going to probably identify it as a banana. Then we now have reinforcement learning. This one does learning by trial and error. It's called, they deal with it with reward hacking, meaning it's trial and reward. So if, for example, the model that has been developed does something right, you reward it. If he does it wrong, he doesn't get penalized. So with time, it begins to identify, oh, okay, that means I'm supposed to go this way. This is similar to what we have in our RoboVacs, robotic vacuum cleaners. It's also what is in use in, most times is used in everyday life. That's also what is used for our traffic lights. So that means with time, you begin to see that it is learning based on the data of the traffic. It sees after some time, it begins to learn, it appears that between Island and Bagada on Third Mainland, at certain times of the day, there's usually traffic. I'm beginning to see it because I see traffic, I see vehicles, vehicular movements that are, oh, so it begins to learn. It means at this time, maybe the traffic light that is pushing people from Akadeshola or something, or from wherever, I need to make it move faster. Those are the kind of things that reinforcement learning. So it keeps learning. Now, briefly, I won't go too long. And like I said, I'm intentional about taking us through. Now, these models that we're talking about, or these algorithms, or these, how are they built? I'm just going to run through it. You need to know what exactly it is that you're building. Like you're a manufacturer, you need to know what is it that you have in mind, what is the purpose. Once you know it, you select a framework, You select and build the algorithm that is going to use. You could also, there are times you also have off the shelf, as in algorithms are already built that you just need to leverage. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Then you prepare and test your data. Very, very important. Then after that, you train your model. Once you have the data, you begin to train your model. You train it, you check it out. Is it okay? By the time I've told it, this is apple, this is orange, this is banana, this is cucumber, this is guava, this is watermelon. And then now it's time for me to evaluate it. Now, bring another part of your data and ask. So what is this? Is it able to tell me if I bring a banana and it tells me it's an orange, then I know something is wrong. I need to tune it. And then I train it. And then you continue that way. And then once it's done, that's why it's called model generation. Then once it's done, then it's ready for testing. Then you test the model, and I will break this down for us. Don't worry. And I'll also give room for questions, as many questions as we have. You deploy it, you use it, and then you monitor and tune it. So that's all it does here. That's why I've tried to break it down here, how you develop the model, which is some of the models that drive some of the things that all of us use. So now I want to make some distinction between AI testing and AI in testing. AI testing means we have AI systems, AI applications, AI models, and as testers, we are required to test it. It's totally different from AI in testing, which I will get into. So for example, maybe you're working for an organization and they want to have a chatbot. Like we already know, chatbot is an AI. So for example, you're asking, so how do I test a chatbot? Because this is AI. That is what AI testing is. I work for a manufacturing company and they are creating the RoboVacs, the robotic vacuums, and I'm required to test it. How do I test that? Or I work for any of these software houses that are building any of these, let's say, AI tools that I work, and I want to test it. So that is what AI testing refers to. It's a process of testing AI-based systems. Now, like I explained, was that I deliberately broke things down and showed us the model. I mean, the entire flowchart for how a model is built. So it lets you know that when it comes to AI systems, they're very different from our traditional systems. It lets you know also that AI systems are dynamic. What is correct today may be incorrect tomorrow. Because, like I said, it's like a child that is learning. So what I know today, by the time, it's just like a little digression. Like it's just like ChatGPT when it came out. You notice all of us using ChatGPT, in case you don't know it, you are part of the data that the AI is feeding on. And that's why, by the way, you should never share anything personal or private on ChatGPT or on any AI platform, because you are also part of the data. So the more it is, that's the reason why, for example, you may ask a question from ChatGPT today. You ask the same question few hours time, it gives you something different. So that's to let you know it is dynamic. But if all of us are aware that in our normal non-AI applications or systems, it is what it is yesterday is what it is today. It does not change. Not the same way with AI systems. So you have to bring that into your consciousness when you are testing something that is AI based. You have to validate, one, that the predictions are correct. You do not just assume, validate it. Ensure that the predictions are okay. Ensure that they are void of bias. For example, let's say you have this new application for a recruitment agency, for example, and they have decided that there's this new AI tool that they have been sold and they're really excited about it. So, okay, come, let's call somebody to come help us test it. One, you have to ensure, is it biased? If it uploads or sees certain kinds of names or gender is it most times biased in the selection or in the prediction? So there are ways by which you can begin to tweak it to know, okay, maybe if I'm beginning to see, it seems like this AI tool apparently likes ladies. Okay, perhaps I should, some of the data, let me tweak it and put a Babatunde and say he's female. And then let's see what happens. So you have to be able to put that into, I just use the example of the recruitment tool as an example. There are different things. So you have to ensure that there is no bias, even in the data that you are using. For example, in this recruitment thing the example I just gave, imagine when the model was being built before this AI tool is being sold to this HR organization, the data they used in training the model, if, for example, out of 100,000 different data that they had of names, of different job descriptions and careers, you had more women. That's a bias. Because by the time that AI tool gets used, is likely to always have women being, given higher priority. So that's an example of bias. Then you also, like I said, you need to test the data quality to ensure it's void, is very fair. You evaluate the explainability and transparency. Bing language, I'll just explain it, I'll break it down. Meaning, for whatever AI system it is you're testing, you must be able to understand the logic it is using. It has to be that transparent, because if you don't, something is hidden somewhere. You have to be able to also predict what is the logic that this model is using. By the time I look at it, okay, I can explain the reason why it gave me this. I can explain the reason why it decided to give this person this. It must be able to evaluate the explainability. Also, performance and scalability. For example, if you take the same tool outside of Nigeria and you take it to the UK, will it work the same way with different data? Different kind of things. Also, edge cases, adversarial testing. What if there's data poisoning? Someone deliberately has trained the model with some kind, poisons the data. Also, you also have to put into consideration ethical and regulatory compliance. All those things have to come into your mind when testing an AI-based system. Unfortunately, I cannot see my screen. I cannot see, so I don't know if anybody is asking questions, but I will give us time. Then we now move to AI in testing, which I think is the question, or is what somebody was referring to, that they were looking for how they can use their AI. So AI in testing is referring to how you can use AI for software testing. How can it help you? AI can provide help with several aspects of testing. Test case generation, I have seen that happen. Testing user interfaces, defect and log analysis, even review of codes and begin to say, okay, it seems the defect density is going to be in this area. Regression tests, there's just so many things that we say is possible. Now, at this point, as I begin to move on, I have seen some test cases written by some people, and the moment I review it, I can tell it wasn't a human being that wrote this. And that is a part of me that is very reluctant. But I've told myself that, sorry, is somebody talking? Okay, all right. But I've told myself, it's just the way automation came in as a hype. AI is a hype and it's out there. What do you tell people? So that's the reason why I'm deliberate and intentional about giving us foundation about what goes into this AI, so that we do not just dump our responsibilities on AI. It can. Yeah, if you want test case, you describe what your requirement is, and then you begin to say, then it just pause everything down for you, and then you just transcribe it, and then voila, you're happy, you are doing. No, it shouldn't be. But I will get to talking about that too in a moment. But there are all manner of things I have seen companies and organizations out there claim that AI can do. I haven't seen quite a number of them deliver as much as they say it can do, but maybe it's also because I put on my testing hat every time. And I think that's the only area in my life where I get to see first before I believe. I believe to see, but in this one, as a tester, I must see it before I believe it. I must hone it. I must look at it. I must handle it. I test all things. You've said it's okay. Okay, I hear you, but I need to handle it. So AI in testing, you just need to tread with a little caution. So I'll move here. Okay, so I didn't even know I'd come here. So now, what are the challenges and the risks? I'll also get down to the benefits. You need to tread carefully with AI in testing. And that's the reason, like I said before, that I gave us what it entails. Despite its advancement, AI presents all manner of challenges. One is ethical concerns. Like I mentioned to you that AI is all about the data. So the question is, where do we draw the line? How far can AI go? What if we decide we want to start feeding it with specific kind of data, or maybe it's a reinforcement, a model that was, is backed up by reinforcement learning, and the model is learning. How do we know the extent? Then we also have what we call AI hallucinations. I'm sure all of us have experienced this in one way or another. I like to use ChatGPT because everybody's aware with that. Hallucination means you ask it a question today, or right now it gives you an answer. In the next few minutes, just contest that answer. It apologizes and tell you, oh, I'm sorry. But I see it's getting better. I remember when it first started, I think I was asking just trying to be naughty. And I was like, what is, let me say, for example, what is 3+3? And then he told me 6. And I said, no, it cannot be 6. I think it's 8. And then he told me, oh, I think you are correct. It is 8. And then I'm like, something is wrong there. I'm just telling you something very basic that I'm using, for example. A couple of weeks or months later, I decided, and he told me, now it's telling me, no, 3+3 is 6. I come back and I said, no, it's 8. And he said, no, I don't know what it is that you're using to do your calculation, but I think it's 6. And then I come back, I said, oh, no, my husband is a mathematics major. He's a professor, and he has taught me that 3+3 is actually not 6, but 8. And then ChatGPT became a little confused. But of course, ChatGPT is on the lowest level of what we do with AI. The reasons why I am bringing this to the fore is to let us know, be careful. Be careful. Then we also have privacy issues. I had mentioned that. It means all your data is available. Like I said on ChatGPT, all of us are also part of the data that is being used for this learning day by day. So whatever is private to you, do not. Also, even aside iPhone users, we have Siri, we have Alexa. I've had course. I'll give us an example. I was having a conversation with someone one day, and we're just talking about something I'd never talked about. The person mentioned that we're talking. And by the time I got home, I noticed those things on my YouTube as suggestions. I noticed it on the TV, and I'm wondering, is this a coincidence? So it appears, I know that there are some cases out there in courts. It appears that some of these AIs we have around on our smart devices may also be listening. So it has privacy issues. There can also be data issues, like I told you. It's garbage in, garbage out. Is what you feed it with, is what it churns back to you. Also, we can also have bias. Okay, advantages. We already have advantages of AI. Are there benefits to it? There's increase in efficiency. There's automation of tasks. It can help you do that. It can decipher complex challenges. It can analyze large data. Maybe, there's just so much you can do part-time. Okay, you want to throw it in and ask AI to help you do it. Be careful. Remember, it's your data. So if that data is private, be careful. However, I've also seen, I'll share a resource with us. Faith can remind me when I'm done. It was a very good read, because I just want to keep learning, and that's what I'm going to charge us with as we finish. And let's begin to see what people out there are doing with this thing, so that we ensure that in as much as we also want to advance with technology, we also are within the boundaries, the ethical boundaries of what is required of us. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, is everything, does it mean that everything that glitter is gold? Not exactly. So this is for us specifically as testers in a pursuit of embracing AI. Is AI in testing really a solution or a shortcut? Am I asking us not to? No, by all means I can't, especially in the kind of terrain we are in that is getting competitive. I'm beginning to see even organizations are beginning to, they want somebody to have AI this, AI that. So of course, in the bid for survival, I know everybody wants to start in the rat race to ensure that, they're in top shape, skill-wise, career-wise. So don't let AI do all the thinking. Like I mentioned to you of where I've seen some people have reviewed test plans, reviewed test cases, and it's obvious this was not, there is no way a tester, except the person is not, that reviewed this thing properly would have done this, except it was AI. Now, somebody may tell me, maybe that particular one didn't do a good job. Perhaps. I've also heard, okay, the more you are better with prompt engineering, the better the kind of output you get will be. That's fine. All we'll still say is, not all that glitters is gold. Just ensure that you do not let AI take hold of you. I mean, take absolute, you're no longer thinking. And that's what I've begun to see out there. And I think that is a clarion call that we're taking out to testers. Be careful. Don't let AI just relieve you of what is really you, of this craft that we learn, of this crafts. No, we want to be seeing, we want to be able to see you in action and see whether you like it or not. The more you use some of those things, the more dependent you become on them. It's like drugs. It's not meant, you're not meant to be weaned from it. It is designed for you to be dependent on it. So it's for you to make a conscious and deliberate effort to where's the boundary? What do I want this to do for me? And then what can I now do with it in order to move on? Okay, so like I said, AI, do not let AI do all your thinking. It's a tool. The way automation is a tool. Testing is human. It cannot be automated. So it's the same way. So AI is a tool that can help you in whichever way, but do not now have 100% reliance on it. Now, it cannot replace human intuition. It cannot replace critical thinking and judgment. So, like I said, I've seen lack of true reasoning. There could also be false positives and false negatives. Are you able to, decipher what is right and what is wrong? And that's what sometimes I also try to tell people. If you do not understand what is right or what is wrong, when you are presented with anything, you take it and lick it up hook, line, and sinker. That's why my charge to every tester is hone your skills. Ensure you're a damn good tester. That way you are able to spot anything that goes out of your way, anything that just goes out of the norms, you're able to spot it. So that's where I said false positives and false negatives can come up. Then you can have over reliance on AI. And of course, it can also come with some form of cost, definitely. And then it also comes with some form of complexity. You just cannot tell. Normally you write your test cases, you say it's this, expected result is this, actual result is this. You do the testing today, it tells you is ABC. You do it tomorrow, it tells you is EFG. So you just be prepared. All right, then I move on. All right, so I want to give us a case study. It's a case study of the failure of the Microsoft T chatbot. So it's a chatbot, like I told us. So this was a chatbot, AI chatbot by Microsoft in 2016. It was designed to learn from Twitter interactions, but it was shut down within 24 hours due to offensive behavior. What went wrong? Some people just decided to just like, it's like when you're taunting someone. It had some unfiltered learning because some people deliberately were saying certain things to Tay, and then eventually Tay got upset and decided to dish back to them exactly with the measure with which, and even gave them more than that measure. Good measure pressed down, shaking together, and running over was what Tay gave back. So it was biased and offensive outputs, and there was a lack of safeguards. Quoting exactly what Microsoft came out to say, they said Tay was an experiment and we take full responsibility for its unintended consequences. So this was an example of the failure of Microsoft Tay chatbot. Do we have good stories? Definitely, but of course, I'm trying to tell us so that we're on our guard in order to know exactly how to approach. All right, so are you replaceable as a tester? So these are some of the things I wanted us to toss. I won't go through all, I'll just mention. 1, critical thinking and problem solving. You can't take that away from you. It's not possible. You can't. Like I said, it's just like you being compared to a child. AI can do just so much based on the just so much data it has. Of course, it's possible that you're saying if you find yourself in an organization that is, for example, building an AI model, that they probably have all the data of that organization. Now I'm talking about AI testing, not AI in testing, not using AI tools. You probably would say, come with the narrative that, okay, maybe all the data required for this organization has already been fed as data in training this model. But we're humans, things change. So the critical thinking part, you cannot take that away from you. So testers, they think beyond the data. We're analyzing edge cases. We are thinking about different things, unexpected behaviors, user pain points. Oh, I remembered a friend, something happened. Okay, let me try and test if this will be able to. Oh, I heard about SQL injection. Okay, let me try and test if SQL injection will work. Oh, different things. So AI may be able to flag an anomaly, but a tester will be able to determine why it happened or how to fix it, or you could also think about different scenarios on the fly. Then we have exploratory testing, which for me is just out of the pack. AI, like follows rules and patterns. They have told it you need to do this, then you need to do this, then you need to do this. But real world testing, if, for example, your application goes out there in the real world, it's unpredictable. You could not tell exactly how your user is going to use your application. So that's the reason why you, as a tester, as a human being, you can begin to have different kinds. Your AI could decide, it could help you. Okay, what kind of use cases is possible that I can get from here? So it says, for example, a tester that is interacting with the mobile banking app may discover usability issues. For example, it may, as I'm holding the phone, I'm wondering, oh, the way the keys are, or the way where certain buttons I may not be okay if it's somebody elderly that is using it. What if the person is slightly disabled? Is the person able to use those as also certain kind of things that you as a person, because you are interacting with the app, you can tell, but your AI can't. Creativity and flexibility, empathy and customer-centric thinking. Then we also have, like I had mentioned, ethical and bias considerations. I also give that example about AI-powered hiring tools that have been found to cause certain demographics due to biased training data. Testers can help to identify and fix these biases, but AI will not be able to do that. Communication and collaboration, which is, I think, which I think is the whatever of it. Sorry, excuse me. AI does not and cannot communicate. AI cannot and does not communicate with or interact nor collaborate. It only processes data. For example, a tester can provide actionable feedback to developers, explaining why a feature might fail, or explaining, okay, this is exactly how I felt when I was using it. Then we have risk analysis and mitigations. All right, so now if I'm embracing AI in testing, meaning I want to use some AI tools, or I want to use AI to help me in my testing, what lies ahead? Like one of the very fantastic questions, understandably so, that someone asked. One thing I will tell you, and I will always start, is test with caution. Use those tools with caution. AI must be used with caution. Always validate the assumptions. Test thoroughly, and ensure that your AI tools, they meet quality standards before deployment. Also, see AI as a complement. It can help you automate repetitive tasks. It can analyze vast data sets. It cannot replace human intuition. It cannot be creative out of the blues, except that form or static form of creativity has already been built into it with data. It can't. And neither can it exercise any form of judgment. Testers must remain at the heart of decision making and critical thinking. So what are the essential skills to develop for testers? Continue to strengthen your skills. It's non-negotiable. It cannot be overemphasized. Your creativity, your problem-solving skills, your communication skills, which AI cannot replicate, at least not now. Perhaps in the future, I don't know, maybe when they get to building super AI, but at least for now. But even when, don't worry, these skills are non-negotiable. They are just at the heart of testing. These abilities, these all the skills, they remain essential for driving testing. Also, I'll just say, let us embrace a human and AI collaboration. The only recommendation I'll give is, okay, let's collaborate. How can this AI help you? It can help enhance your abilities. You can learn from it. Keep learning. And see, that is also something I also want to emphasize. Keep learning, keep learning. That's why I will not tell anyone not to learn about AI. I do. I wanted to learn about it. I got certified, but that's just, it's not about the certification. It was just about the learning. I also stumbled into some things I was reading a couple of days, the resources I will share with you, and they're fantastic. So keep learning. When something new comes on board, just don't jump on it because they say it does this. Wear your tester's cap. I'm a tester through and through. Anything I handle, I see it, it's okay, but I need to test it. I need to understand it. I need to prove that it is true before I move on. The same thing with AI. We do not know what it is that will come out in the next couple of years, in the next couple of decades, in the next couple of centuries. The same, whatever I will tell testers is, see, whatever technology it is that comes, the basic, the foundations, the rudiments, the essentials of testing cannot be overemphasized. Ensure that you wait. Don't just jump on any bandwagon. Even when you jump on it, it is in a bid for you to go check out what the truth is. Test all things and then you hold on to that which is true. The moment you've seen it, okay, these are the loopholes, these are the loopholes, these are ways in which I can help myself, then wow, it becomes a game changer. That's the human AI collaboration that I'm talking about. Okay, then when it comes to AI testing, perhaps you find yourself in a place where you guys you have models, they want to breed models, and you need to test them. Like I said, the simplest that comes to mind is the chatbot. Of course, there are so many others. There are APIs that a lot of these people have, that people are leveraging on third-party applications that they are building. So those are also AI systems. So what do? You should bear in mind that AI systems are dynamic in nature. So you cannot wear the cap of that you do for your normal traditional systems. No, they're dynamic. So what is right today may what you get today that is right may be different tomorrow, and it doesn't make it incorrect. It is also still right. It's just because based on the data that is being made available to the model, it is learning and it is changing. Test models thoroughly. Ensure your models behave correctly. The data.
That makes sense.
Hello?
Sir.
Sorry, I think somebody is talking.
Alpha.
Hello? Hello?
Banji. Somebody's mic is not muted, please.
Okay, so I'm saying test the models thoroughly. Make sure you have diverse kind of data that is being used. Just ensure that happens. Like the story, the example of the chatbot I'm giving to us. You are doing it for your company. Ensure you have lots of data available, not biased data that is fair, not just for this particular, depending on what it is that the model is supposed to do. Ensure you have different types so that you make sure that it has everything encompassing, so that it doesn't shift to this side or shifts to that side. Then ensure systems must be trained. AI systems must be trained on diverse, balanced data sets to avoid inherent biases. Then there must be continuous monitoring. Has something gone wrong? Is it shifting from what we told it to do? And then we must always ensure that there is a way we put safeguards. How do we ensure that the process of model learning? Sorry, please, can whoever is not talking, please, can they help mute their mics? Okay, so in the process of it learning, it does not go this far, such that it crosses the line, the ethical boundaries. That always has to be put in place and tested. Then ongoing oversight, I already mentioned that you must ensure that there's no misuse of AI. Testing and monitoring should be continuous to ensure that your AI align with ethical standards. And of course, bearing security in mind, you always have to. AI has now become an additional attack vector for cyber, for people, threat actors. Thank you. That's what I was trying to think. For threat actors, it has become an additional. So when you have your application, aside all the other things you're thinking about, database, UI, APIs, so that there's no man in the middle, you also now have to put into consideration that AI too is another attack vector. And you need to think about that. Are there ways by which people can also come, threat actors can come in to attack through this surface area? All right, so I would just like to key takeaway. I would just like to differentiate between AI testing and AI in testing. The purpose of AI testing is what you need to do is to ensure that all AI models or systems, they function correctly and they do ethically. But okay, let me go this way. And then you validate the behavior and the safety of the AI models. The focus area for your test could be for bias, for fairness, for security, for explainability, for ethical standards, and things like that. And for AI in testing, which I perceive a lot of us are interested in, this is engaging using AI-powered tools to try and enhance our testing efficiency. You want to use AI to automate tasks like test creation, for those that are into test case generation, for defect prediction, for log analysis, for reporting. So yes, so like I said, they're just a whole lot of things that can come under what you can use your AI tools to do. All right, so thank you very much. I hope I've not, okay, I think we are in good timing. So I don't know if we have questions. Let me try and yeah. Do we have questions? All right. Hello.
I think so. Sorry. So I think in the chat session, some people asked some questions.
Okay. All right.
So someone is saying, how can testers prepare for the changing landscape of testing and AI?
All right. Good. I think I've mentioned, perhaps he asked before I got there. The best way, one, like I said, ensure you are equipped. Ensure you know, for example, I was telling you that there are some test cases I have seen, I have reviewed. And the moment I picked it up, I knew there's no way humanly possible that it was a human that wrote this. How was I able to do that? It's because I've interacted, I've worked with, I've been, and I can tell that there is no way, there's just no. So my advice is make sure that you know the fundamentals of testing. As in, you're not lazy. See, a lazy tester cannot move with this technology because it will come out clear, very clear. That's because there probably also will be some misses that sometimes somebody will look at us and say, how on earth did you miss this? So ensure that your critical thinking is top notch. You understand the rudiments of testing. You understand exactly how it is, no matter what, whether it's agile or it's waterfall, whatever it is that is being used in where you are through your software development life cycle. Ensure you have a good understanding, databases, things like that. And then one thing I would like to say, keep learning, read so that you begin to also form some opinions. And then, of course, your opinion is yours. By the time you sit down, you read what this person said, you can tell yourself, no, based on what I understand about it, it cannot be this. So I hope I've been able to answer your questions. That's the way for you to start preparing yourself for the changing landscape. Ensure you know your skills. It's just, for example, if a lawyer comes and says, how do I prepare myself? Sorry that I'm using that as an example for the evolving landscape. What is going to change? Perhaps what they're going to do is AI can help you begin to bring out some other cases, law cases that has happened historically. But by and large, AI is not going to go there to help you argue your cases. AI is not going to sit down, and I've heard some cases, watched some movies, and you see certain lawyers they can bring a cat out of the hat. And you're like, how on earth did that happen? So you have to make sure your A game is on like never before, so that when this AI comes, it doesn't come and it makes a shipwreck of your entire career. Make sure you're on point with what you know. Shegun, I hope I've been able to answer your questions. If I haven't, please let me know. If you need me to re-explain, I will go ahead. All right, I see Jimo. Please, I'm a new member in the field, manual testing to be precise, and I need at least internship position to start. Okay, I can prepare test cases. Okay, I write proper. I also can perform manual. Okay, I'm currently learning. I can collaborate and manage tests. I seriously need a remote manual gig, or at least internship, pay or no pay, to scale up my testing. Okay, fantastic, Jimo. I think that's the mindset. I also tell people that's also a good way of learning. Whether you're going to be paid or not, in all honesty, you're actually being paid. It's just that you're not being paid cash. And let me tell you, you can't buy experience in the market. There's nothing compared to the experience. So if you have someone that is going to give you access for internship, please take it. The money is by the side. The money will come after you have honed all the skills. Also, there are also some, I'd like to tell you, join communities. LinkedIn is you can come on LinkedIn and you're looking for, I've had access to all manner of communities. I've seen content that is the good, the bad, and the ugly, but you need to sit down and have a filter in your mind, in your head, as you begin to read certain things, and you can tell, no, based on what I know, what I've experienced, no, it's not this way, it's not this way. So where I'm going with talking about test communities is, I found out that there are certain communities that actually have forums, or they have applications where you can learn. So while you are still searching for somewhere where you can do internship, go there. I think Ministry of Testing had one, and a couple of months ago, I was also excited when I stumbled into it. In one of the KSS sessions with some of my remote teams, we decided let's do one of these tests, and then we shared our screens. We asked someone to share screen, and then we all started taking it one by one. Okay, what's your own answer? We had fun, and it also helped all of us just come back and just bring to memory certain things, or even some things you never even knew existed, but you are able to test and you're able to put your hands to it. So yes, internship is good, but while you're waiting for internship, please look around, check online. There are some free stuff that you can do, even on Udemy, on Coursera, whatever it is, on LinkedIn Learning. Just ask around. Okay, can I give examples? I think you should Google. I do not give recommendations for AI tools as a matter of policy. I don't. So Google, I saw something, different ones, but you see, that's the reason why I said I was deliberate about taking all of us through these rudiments of how they arrive at AI, because what works for an organization A may not work for an organization B. Also, what worked for an organization A yesterday on project ABB may not work for that same organization on project XYZ. So it's just so. But what I would recommend to you is go online. There are some of these AI tools that don't mind that you have trial periods, 14 days usually. So just Google, take a look at it, and begin to form your own opinion. Do you understand? So all of them, just take them one by one. Maybe you do this, ensure you don't do them simultaneously, so that you do not cause, I guess you also have a job. So you have to make sure, just do one part time, so that you can effectively, be able to look through the tools for that 2 weeks, 7 days. It depends on what they give you. Take notes, and then maybe in another week, move into another one, look at it critically, and just so that you just have an idea of what exactly it is that it can do. I've seen quite a number say is used for test case generation, but that's if you're all about test case generation. If your organization requires it, that's fine. I've seen a lot of tools prefer different claims, and so that's why I will not. I apologize. So you can go online and then try your hands on different ones. That's for Greece. Thank you. Then I see Bukumi. My question is that as a tester, is it possible to do without AI? I believe so. The question is, like what we have discussed and taken ourselves through today, are there things you can or cannot do without? For example, if your organization is still very small and maybe you're not even doing so much, I'm not saying don't go learn. In fact, maybe it may be a good opportunity for you to, on the side, have some tools that you can begin to prep yourself. This is where you are now. It does not mean that's where you want to remain. You have to ensure that you are skilled enough for your tomorrow. So it's not when you arrive at tomorrow that you now be looking for the skills that is required for tomorrow. Ensure that at every point in time where you are ready for tomorrow. You are ready for what is coming. So yes, if, for example, there is no need, for example, some people would ask, is it possible for testers, can I do without automation? It depends on what it is. See, context really matters, my people. Context is a lot. And I like to encourage testers, see, don't belittle yourself and don't feel inferior, perhaps because you're not doing automation. For example, let me use automation before I come to AI. The question that I like to ask in order for more is, when an app comes out and it's in the hands of your customer, they do not ask you what kind of test tools did your test phase go through. Nobody asks you. Everybody just want to know, is this application or is this system good for use? Customer centricity. However, I am aware that a lot of organizations, because they want to be seen as doing AI or doing automation, everybody wants to be identified as doing so. And so in a bid for survival, everybody wants to. That's fine. But just ensure that in whatever tool it is that you are using, ensure you are delivering like a tester should. Ensure you are thinking, you're asking questions. That question part, I cannot overemphasize it. See, testers, it helps you ask questions. Like I tell a lot of my people, no question is stupid and no question is unintelligent. I personally ask a whole lot of questions. And as I'm asking questions, I am like the AI, because I am building my data. The more you ask me, the more you answer my question, I'm going somewhere. My mind is thinking in a specific way and I'm jotting down notes. By the time I'm done, I already know exactly what it is I want to do. I want to know in what format my exploratory testing is going to take. I already know the areas. I'm already thinking of the shortfalls. So that's where I'm coming from. That's what I want you to build. So even if, for example, you have a whole lot of data, perhaps maybe there's something AI can help me do here. Fantastic. But if you do not have opportunity right now to do anything AI, would we say you are not testing? All right. So what data is required for training AI models and how is it collected? Fantastic. So for example, it depends on the model that you are building. Like, let me use, in order for me to break it down, I will use the barest of this chatbot. So let's say, for example, you've just been recruited as a software engineer into a bank. And your manager comes and tells you, Bode, in fact, I have been thinking about chatbot, and when I was recruiting you, the way you answer the questions, it was you that was on my mind. So I want you to come and be able to work with this developer in order for us to churn out this chatbot. So they go get an algorithm. For example, what's this? It's not Microsoft. I think is IBM Watson, for example, already have, for example, I think that's for translations. But you have certain models that are already out there. So you don't need to start building from scratch. So if you know what you want, for example, I want something that is a chatbot. Oh, fine. There are chatbots that you can buy, algorithms or models that you can buy out there in the market. Once you buy it, you now need to train it. It's like you saying you want to go get, I don't want to use a child now because a child is not a good example, but you want to, okay, beautiful. Maybe you just adopted a child. Yes, I think that's the best way, adoption. And in order for you to bring up the child in the ethos of your family, you need to start training that child with the values of your family. This is what is important to us in our families. We really integrity. We're big on integrity. We're not materialistic. Those are data. I'm using that. So now you've just bought this model out of the market from wherever it is, and I want to use it, but the developer working with Bode wants to use it. So what data? So the data they're going to use is the data for the bank. This chatbot, what is it going to be asking? What is this chatbot going to be doing? Is supposed to be discussing or conversing with people that come on the website, or maybe people that come on the mobile app, whatever it is. So it is whatever that model is supposed to do determines the data with which you feed it with. So you begin to ask, okay, on this chatbot, people can come and they want to ask, how do I open an account number? They want to ask, how much is it to open an account? What requirements do I need to open the account? Do I have to go to the branch? All manner of questions that you can think about, you put them together, that is your data. How many branches do we have? If I have a dispute, all the things that you can think that they can ask you on that chatbot, you collate everything together, that is the data. Then you now go, don't worry, it's a skill too. It's a skill. So you now go, that's why sometimes they're looking for LLM engineers. That's what they do. So you now use this data to train this model. So by the time you train it, you feed it with all the data. So by the time you come back, when you want to evaluate it, you can now interact it and ask, I am a new customer. How can I help you? Then let's see what the chatbot will respond. Maybe does he welcome you? That, by the way, has to be something you must also have fed into the model. Because if you don't tell it, it doesn't understand how to respond. When it greets you good morning, it does not. It doesn't know what to answer. It must have been trained. That's the reason why sometimes you will put something into a chatbot and it tell you, I do not understand what you are saying. It's because he has searched. Sorry, they have not trained him with the question you're asking. It's not familiar. I don't know it. Or you're speaking, it's like you're speaking Greek to a child and they're expecting it to understand and give you it to understand. So that's why sometimes that happens. So those are the kind of data. You evaluate it. I want to open an account. Let's see, what does the chatbot answer? Does it tell you, sorry, we have branches in, then you know something is wrong. So you evaluate it, maybe tune it, sorry. Maybe there is something wrong with the way I have trained it, is mixing the question about account opening with the location of branch. You tune it. Then you come back, you come and evaluate again, you test it. Is it okay? Sorry, it's called, at that point, it's still between tuning, evaluating, testing. You just keep doing that. Then once it is fine, and that's, I didn't want to go into details, but that's also when you're training an AI, you must separate the data. The data you will use for training on one side, the data you will use for testing on one side. But here, while you're still going through the cycle of your training, you train, you evaluate, you tune, you train, you evaluate, you tune, you train, you evaluate, you tune, TET. You train, you evaluate, you tune. You keep doing that until, okay, by the time you've gone around, okay, I think I'm good now. It's time for me to test. Now when it's test, you're going to test with separate data because you want to be able to see, is this my guy intelligent enough now, such that if I give it some data different from what he had before, remember that, is he able to answer my questions? So I hope I've been able to explain to you. So that's just what data means. It's nothing, it's just data. That's why sometimes, like I told you, that even us using ChatGPT, the questions we're asking, the answer we're asking, they are also data to ChatGPT that is using to learn. That's the reason why day one, I can tell ChatGPT 3 + 3 is 8, and is apologizing to me that, oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was 6. And by the next day, when I ask him, he's telling me, because he has learned from yesterday that, no, I think this person must have. So that's data. Data is just everything. That's why data from the internet. And that's why also you cannot afford to take hook, line, and sinker everything you get from an AI model. Same way you cannot from ChatGPT. There have been times I'm looking for quotes and I ask, and I've known that for now. I know that you cannot. And even you can even see OpenAI themselves, even at the base of it tells you that this guy, there are times he can be wrong. So meaning do not rely on him 100%. And he's giving me some quotes. I like quotes, by the way, but it's a faster route for me than going to search, doing Google. And it gives me some quotes and I'm like, these quotes kind of look too exact to what it is I've expressed my mind I'm trying to express. Could somebody really have existed? And then I go to Google and ask Google, please, can you confirm? And they said, no, that quote does not exist. And then I come back to ChatGPT and I ask, remember when I started, I've told ChatGPT, I want real quotes that expresses this mindset that I have. Are there real quotes? And it churns them out for me. And I'm like, oh, okay, I see one that is really nice. And then I go to Google and I ask Google. Google says nothing like that exists. Then I come back, oh, guy, but this does not exist. I thought you told me, oh, I'm so sorry. That's AI hallucinations. And it tells you, oh, I'm so sorry. It's because I was just trying to get you a quote that is close to the mindset that you have expressed to me. And then I say, but I had expressly told you I want real life quotes. I apologize for that error. I hope I have not. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. So it just lets you know the difference, so that we know exactly how to approach the use of AI. There's so much hype about it, in all honesty. I don't know if there's any other question. Yes, there's so much hype about it. But what I would say is tread with caution. Keep learning. Keep learning. Keep learning. Keep learning. You can't afford to stop learning. You just have to keep learning. So that, for example, it may come across. And like I also tell people, you never can tell when the opportunity will arise. Something may happen overnight and they want you to do it. And then that's when you're, no, or somebody wants to ask you some questions. You can't know everything. So I'm not saying know everything, but at least know a little. This is what is happening now. Go learn about it. Start reading. For example, okay, all right. Thank you very much. For example, you notice that the model flowchart that I put there, it's the sources from the ISTQB syllabus. Even if it's just for the purpose of just learning it and making your mind aware. They say, the Bible says, my people perish for lack of understanding. But the moment you have the understanding, you can begin to use it. Nobody can come tell you, because you know the truth. And if you want to harness certain things, you already know the nuances. So you just say, okay, if this is what it can help me do, even though it has helped me, you also have to shine your eye and be sure that you ensure that, I'm sure you all get what it is that I'm talking about. All right. Looking into the future, can you say that quality assurance engineering is a lucrative career path? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been in testing over 20 years now. Does it does have its up and down, but see, you can't do testing if you're not passionate about it. That's the truth. You can't. You have to have it as a passion, because when you have days when things don't go the way you want, days when you have certain misconstrued by product managers, by PMs, or by developers, or by your Scrum team, you just have to know. You have to be able to self-motivate. You have to be able to. So for me, when someone says, is it a lucrative career path? For me, testing has gotten to a point for me. I can do it even if I will not get paid for it. That is how passionate I am about testing. So if you say lucrative, I believe so. But I would also like to let us know, begin to, have a little bit of diversification such that you can also expand, give yourself some room, not just just one-sided. Begin to add a little things, some room here and there. Learn a little bit about, you understand project management. I said you understand. Just give yourself some leverage. You give yourself some, so that at any point in time you can fit in at it. But definitely it is a lucrative career path. It is a lucrative career path. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know, are there any more questions? And yes, I think I was you can connect with me. I think I'm not sure if I was still sharing my screen. Okay, it appears I'm still sharing. Okay, so let me bring that back. We can connect with me. Yes. Sharing your screen. Okay, yeah, so it's still sharing. I'd love to hear from us. whatever it is I can do. And if I can not do, perhaps I may know somebody else that knows what it is that you need to do. So, Faith, I don't know if there are any more questions.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence on this call. It's been so deep, so insightful. Everybody can attest to that. At the point we had over 50 people on the call, and this is not, it is not just a random lesson that we just learned today. It was a thorough one, taking us through difference between AI in testing, and testing AI, or something like that, that you
Yes.
mentioned. And yes, and quite a lot of very insightful things, AI and security concerns, and what we can also do to make sure that we stay ahead of the game. I particularly love when you said that, when you asked the question that, are you replaceable? Or I don't know, how did you put it?
Yeah.
Like, you are you are irreplaceable, or are you irreplaceable? You asked that question.
Yes.
Yes. And I think a lot of people should be a lot more calmer now, because it is obvious that there are a lot of things that AI can do, that you can do, that AI cannot do. The AI doesn't have intuition. It cannot do some of all these other things and test across applications, maybe across web and things like that. And it is a lot for us to take in, that, see, your job is there. We need to stay ahead of AI. Like, we already have the leverage of our intuition over AI and communication collaboration, which AI cannot do. And we're so grateful that you're here to tell us again. And even above AI, you mentioned some other things that are very important to us as testers. Passion is a very major key to ensure that we can thrive in this career. And we really appreciate you turning out a lot of experience from your wealth of 18 years to us, and we are so grateful.
Thank you
So
very much.
thank you, everybody. Olubukola, we are so grateful for having us, for
Thank
coming here. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone.
you, madam.
Have
Thank
a
Yes,
you.
please, everybody, drop your favorite emoji for our amicable Olubukola. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
guys, okay, thank you, Mom. So, guys, right about now, don't drop off the call, because we still have Adaobi is going to be dropping a few. Adaobi, are you still there, please? Yes, you might need to talk to us about our certification training, because you see all these things that we just learned today. You can actually take some courses that are within budget for you people. Like, you can take in-depth courses on some of these things, so you will be certified, and you'll be able to have you'll be able to share those certificates probably in your office, and then you go up the ladder. So, Adabi, please take the stage. Madam, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, thank you so much.
All right. So I'll be talking about our courses at Testify Limited, right? And we've always been putting it out there on the Testify Testers Quotation Slack. So if you really want, if you want to start a career in software testing, you have the Tester and Testify Limited, Testify Academy, where we can take up our switch to software testing course, which is a 3 month course. And we've had a lot of people taking this course and getting a job. Like today, one of our students just got a job, just switched from customer service, which she was doing at her place of work, to software testing. So it's just a 3 months course, and after 3 months, you should be grounded in software testing, at least the manual software testing. And that's not because that's the only thing we do in switch to software testing. There's also introduction to automation, test automation. So we also have an 8 weeks course for API test automation, web test automation, and mobile test automation. So if these courses are something that you want to take, then you can just reach out to me on Slack. We'll be starting a new cohort on the 17th of February. So you can just reach out to me on Slack and I'll give you more information on how to register. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Faith.
Thank you, Adaobi, for this. We really appreciate your presence today. Myself and Adaobi, we have been the host of this program. Thank you, Adaobi, for always joining us on the call, and thank you everybody on the call. I would have loved to share. Let me see if I can still share while on this call. We have some other programs we have for this February. I believe you all know that on next week Friday we are not going to be having like a webinar, but we have a program coming up. That's a just a Valentine program between us in the Testers Quarter community, where we are going to pair each ourselves. Like, you're just going to pick somebody in the community, probably someone you have reached out to before, and this is your opportunity to, you know, to connect with people. You know, some people just join the community and then you just drop probably something on the introduction channel talking about yourself. So this is an opportunity to pick one person and share something with that person. It can be data, it can be airtime, it can be voucher, it can be like a gift card or something. You can even send flowers to people that you really appreciate on these Testers Quarter community. So you can just drop me a chat. Let me know who you're picking, or if you want to, just so that we just keep it bubbling next week. We don't want to, you know, a lot of people have their love life. So we'll be having a webinar next week Friday because it's Valentine's Day. But on 13th, we are going to be having like a brief. Everybody will be dropping their partners and just sharing and connecting with people. You never can tell. You can be connecting with your next hiring manager. Yeah, drop your favorite emoji. If you know you love this idea, drop your favorite emoji. Yeah, thank you. I like that you love it. Yes, thank you so much. So, and right after that time, that's 21st of February, we're having another webinar, which is on software, becoming a software quality assurance engineer. And we are like how to develop a software. That's actually the theme of the webinar, how to develop a software, and it's going to be featuring the software testing lifecycle. So we are going to be bringing somebody on board, and that person is going to be teaching us. Is another opportunity for you to learn. I believe if today's webinar was a very good one for you, please drop your favorite emoji again. Because you see, these are the reasons why we should be on this call, because it makes us fresh. We are usually, you become fresh every day. You are not still, you are up to speed with everything that is going on in and out of your community as a software tester. Yes, so without taking much of your time, we have come to the end of today's webinar. I really appreciate everybody who joined. Olariwaju Jimoh, thank you. Oluwatosin Abidemi, thank you. Ugochukwu, thank you. Oluwabukumi. How many people am I going to call tonight? As I'm calling your name, just say present, ma, with your emoji. I know. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you. Let me be calling everybody. Akobi, thank you. Aridunu, thank you. Anyoloye, thank you. Chisom, our favorite Chisom. Emmanuel Ebong, that was showing his face on the call. Follow. Thank you. Gracie, thank you. Hey, did I call that your name very well? Thank you, Kayode. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Musa. Thank you, Nokert. Thank you. Ugochukwu. Olamilekan, thank you. Olariwaju, thank you. Olubukumi, thank you. Oluwashun, thank you. Oluwatosin, thank you. Another Oluwatosin, thank you. Okoyemi, Oyajimi, Ariyo, thank you. Patience, thank you. Rashid, thank you. Sahid, thank you. Sample, thank you. Sarah, thank you. Taiwo. And our Testify Academy, Mama. Adaobi, thank you. Veronica, thank you. I really appreciate you people on the call. Looking forward to a great, amazing weekend. God bless you and have a lovely weekend. Bye. I'm going to be sharing the link to today's session. That will be on Monday, hopefully. Yes, I'll be sharing that. And I'll also be requesting for the resource that Madam Olubukola said she was going to share with us so that I can share it with you as well. Yes, have a good night. God bless. Bye.